A man and a woman, fleeing the police for a crime they didn't commit, duck into a train car in the dead of night. But they aren't alone. The car is packed with traveling circus performers. This is the setup for a standout sequence in Alfred Hitchcock's 1942 thriller, Saboteur. The scene's biting political edge was sharpened during script revisions in late 1941, heavily shaped by uncredited rewrites from the notoriously sharp satirist Dorothy Parker. While Parker and Hitchcock were finalizing these pages, the actual world was tearing itself apart. The Second World War was forcing a massive, violent collision between authoritarian regimes and democratic nations. Over a decade earlier, Sigmund Freud had warned about exactly this kind of collapse. In his book, Civilization and Its Discontents, Freud argued that society is constantly at risk of disintegrating because of human beings' primary mutual hostility, our inherent inclination toward aggression. Explaining a global ideological war on film easily turns into a tedious lecture. Hitchcock bypassed that trap entirely. He compressed the entire global conflict down into a single claustrophobic train car, building a forced mini-society to put democracy through a stress test. Inside the car, the ideological lines are quickly drawn. The troupe's philosopher is the thin man who goes by Bones. He makes it clear that he views the outside, normal society as egocentric and comfortably cold-hearted. The rest of the performers share the skepticism. As social outcasts who have faced harassment and marginalization, they harbor a heavy, entirely rational distrust of authority figures like the police. This animated floor plan represents Hitchcock's structure. Bones compares the car to the present world predicament. Esmeralda is passive, standing in for appeasement. The arguing performers mirror a confused, splintered populace incapable of action. Finally, the hostile major embodies authoritarianism. With this oddball collection of characters, Hitchcock constructed a highly precise, scalable model of the exact political crisis paralyzing the planet. This theoretical map is forced into an immediate emergency when the authorities suddenly halt the train and prepare to search the car. The performers have seconds to decide whether to turn the fugitives over or hide them. It forces a harsh practical question. How does a divided group survive a sudden existential threat? Freud wrote that the decisive step of civilization occurs when the brute force of an individual is replaced by the unified power of a community. The troupe decides to take a democratic vote on whether to hide the couple, but the major refuses to participate. Instead, he tries to override the majority by threatening to yell for the police, using his own brute force to dictate the outcome. The community responds instantly. They exercise their collective power by physically grabbing the major, shoving him into a hidden compartment, and gagging him so the police won't hear him. The sequence demonstrates Freud's theory in action. Civilization holds together, and the group survives because the community unites to restrict the impulses of its most hostile member. As they bundle the major out of sight, Bones the Thin Man offers a chillingly pragmatic justification for their actions. In an emergency, the minority must suffer. It is an uncomfortable line. It underscores the fact that preserving a democracy is rarely a clean or peaceful process, but one that sometimes demands harsh restrictions. The scene delivers a potent irony. The social outcasts, the people dismissed by the outside world as freaks, prove far more capable of organizing, delivering justice, and defending human life than the normal society currently tearing the globe apart. Dorothy Parker cemented this idea with a late addition to the script. When asked why she chooses to stay with her fellow fugitive despite the danger, the heroine simply replies, "It's a free country, isn't it?" A truly free country never maintains itself through passive sympathy or endless debate. It requires active choices, unyielding solidarity against brute force, and the collective courage to get your hands dirty when the threat finally arrives at your door.